Ahoy mateys, welcome back to Screamingpirate EDC. Today we're going to be figuring out the best American made OTF. Now what kind of put this idea in my head is the new OTF from Hogue. Now I have this on loan from Blade Ops, but I definitely wanted to compare this to the other OTFs that I have because I feel like OTFs are becoming a little more popular, which is, hey, in my mind, a great thing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, we are top down just because I am doing a size comparison here, guys, and I wanted you guys to see everything nice and clear. So from the bottom up, we have the Microtech Ultratech. Now this is the Bounty Hunter edition, and this is about the medium size, which runs around the same size as the rest of these. After that is the Benchmade Shootout, and it is the only one here that is not in aluminum handles. Now, this one is in a reinforced like plastic, I believe it is. It's like their CF Elite kind of material. After that is the Hogue Counterstrike. This is the new kid on the block when it comes to OTFs. And then finally, it is the Heretic Manticore E. Once again, the Bounty Hunter edition that just came out recently. So now you have them all next to each other. So let's talk about a few differences. Obviously you can see blade length is roughly the same. Your weights I will have up on the screen, but really where you're coming in different, guys, is not even price, but it's going to be materials, surprisingly enough. Now, the two that are going to be roughly the same if you buy them in a non-fancy configuration is going to be the Microtech and the Heretic. If you just get a standard aluminum scale on these and not the fancy pants version like these, then they're both going to be right under $300. But these are not, especially the Heretic with this beautiful, like I think it's the rockin' 80s carbon fiber. This is more in the $500 range. Now, with that being said on aluminum there, once again, the Benchmade is in these plastic, like I believe it's like their CF Elite kind of stuff. You have some grip texture up here, and the blade is in crew wear. And then the blades on the other one, so you have Magna Cut up top in the Heretic. You have a, let me look here, guys. I believe it is a 20 CV on the Microtech, and then on the Hogue, it is also 20 CV, as you can see right in there. There we go. So the main reason I say that the Hogue is shaking things up for me is because of all the extra texturing in here. Now on a Heretic, you might get some of these lines in here, but that's about all you're really gonna get, nothing crazy. Look here at the Hogue. Let me go ahead and focus up on him. So look at all the micro texturing there on the G10 and on the aluminum side. Tons and tons of texturing. Not something you typically see at the under $300 price point. The other thing that I don't normally see is having a different material scale on one side. So you have G10 over here and textured and contoured under $300. If you get another material, now typically it's a little bit higher end on the Heretic, you're getting like carbon fiber and the price goes up significantly. Same thing on Microtech. I'm not too sure if Microtech has done many inlays, but I know the price goes up. On the Benchmade, that's the model. You might get a coated blade or not, but that's it. Whereas on the Hogue, there are a ton of variations. The other thing I am loving here that is not an option that comes in the box with any of the other ones is this glass breaker can actually screw off, and there's a replacement screw that goes on here, so you don't have to have this. Pretty nice to have that in the box. I really do like that a whole hell of a lot. Once again, guys, very similar overall. Everything here is a flat grind, and as you can see, once again, very similar overall size. So let me go ahead and introduce a few other knives so you guys can see a general size comparison and what I am talking about when I say they are, a certain size. I think they're a great EDC size, but let me go ahead and throw in an out the side knife that you may have. Now, this is the only out the side that I have that is an automatic that is in roughly this size range, and this is the ProTech ATCF. the Terzola design that they are going absolutely ham over and using in all different kinds of things, but wanted you to see that in the lineup. All right, let me go ahead and take him away. And then after that, a knife that pretty much everybody knows and loves at this point is going to be the ProTech Malibu. Now, these handles are going to be a little bit longer than a Malibu, as you can see there, and they are going to have a little more blade. Not terribly so, but just a bit. So let me go ahead and take those off, and let's start doing some nitty-gritty comparison here. So, up first, ergonomics. The Microtech is not bad. It's a very, as you can see, neutral handle. There is a slight curve in here that kind of helps, cradle your hand. The button does not get in the way. Okay, not bad on the ergonomic front. Now on the Benchmade, if I'm just holding it in like a hammer grip, very comfortable, nice, bigger, thicker handles here with lots of contouring. But I don't love the ergonomics on the Benchmade because of this button. Because of this button, my finger's either out here over it on the blade, which I don't want it to be because it's so thin, or it's back here and that grip is uncomfortable. So not as good. Now on the Hogue here, very, very similar to the Ultratech. As you can see, you get a slight contouring down there. They are about the same width. You can definitely tell that Hogue is going after Microtech with this one. Now, same thing here on the button. You do have a little bit of a raised button, but it's not as high, and there is a little bit of flat. So if my finger ends up on it, it's not the end of the world, and this is a little more comfortable, and I have a little more handle to kind of move around on. So this is slightly better than your Benchmade for me. And then finally, the Heretic. Now, right off the bat, guys, I'm going to tell you the Heretic is the most comfortable in my hands just because it is a little bit wider, kind of like the Benchmade, but you do just get this nice button that has good texturing. It almost feels like additional jimping, and if you look out here on the blade, there is some jimping. So if my thumb lands out there, that's fine. My thumb still feels like it's secure. That's comfortable. This is comfortable. You see how my thumb lands there. No problem at all. After that, there's only a reason to mention pocket clips. I am not going to, way too hard on those. None of them really bite into my hand. I will say that they all are easy in and out of the pocket. There are no snags whatsoever. After that is going to be firing. So how does it fire both out and back in? So out, very nice, very easy on the Heretic. Now I will tell you, it feels very snappy coming back in to set back in the blade as well. I do really like that. On the Hogue, my only complaint here is that I feel like in order to pull back here, because there's no jumping up here, I do have to re-up my thumb. So I push and then I have to pull back down a little bit. Kind of some points off there. I don't really love that I have to reposition my thumb, but it is nice and smooth. On the Benchmade, I think the Benchmade has some of the best action because out, you see all the way out there, now it fires. I know exactly where it's going to fire every time, and I just have to put my thumb on front of it and pull straight back because they also added some jimping on the button on either side, which does assist with that. Now, finally, on the Microtech, this Microtech I just got back from service from them directly, so the action is slightly better than it was out of the box, but not too shabby. I will say, of all of these, the Microtech has my least favorite action, surprisingly. Now, on the sound, see if I can, there we go. So you kind of get a standard sound on the Microtech, nothing crazy. I really dislike the sound on the Benchmade, guys. It is not for me. Because of how hollow those handles are, it sounds cheap. It's not, it doesn't feel cheap, but it just sounds that way. And on the Hogue, nice, solid sounding. I don't get any bit of bad plasticky sounds or anything, sounding hollow. And then finally on the Heretic, my personal favorite as far as sound as well. So there's another, point in the favor of the Heretic. Now, finally guys, this is all about the same fit and finish throughout here, but there is one thing I want to talk about that I don't like on each one. On the Heretic, if I can show you guys, it's gonna be a little hard. Oh gosh, you might be able to see it. The tip of the blade is right there. And I can touch it right here, the very tip. I really don't like that, and for the price of this knife, I wish that was better. On the Hogue, another thing I don't really love here is the clip feels a little slapped on. It doesn't feel like it fits the knife, especially with all this micro texturing. It just doesn't do a whole lot for me. I wish it was, you know, a little bit better, a little more, you know, sleek looking. The Benchmade, well, honestly guys, it's the lowest one here for me. I can't really replace that glass breaker. It also looks slapped on, and I don't like the sound. Is it a great knife? Yeah, if you like Benchmades, I like this one too. But if you have to pick an American made, the Benchmade isn't it for me. And then finally the Microtech, the OG as it were. My biggest complaint about Microtechs, and always has been, one, the glass breaker, but two, what is up with that lanyard? I've never been a fan. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, it's good. It's not the best. If I had to pick one, and my budget was around the $300 marker, which all of these fall in just under $300, guys, I'm going Heretic. I gotta admit, the fit, the finish, everything here is nice. Now, because they are all not super expensive, you know, OTFs, you do have a little bit of blade wobble here, and I'll show you on all of these because that's just a thing. Unless you're buying a G&G Hawk, which is $1,000, you're gonna get some blade play. That's just how it is in the OTF game. So with that being said, guys, my champion here is going to be the Heretic. I think if you're going to be picking out a USA made blade OTF, go with the Heretic. You can't go wrong with any of these. I really like the Hogue up next. It is neck and neck between that and the Heretic. I think Hogue really came out swinging. If you like the G10, I mean, that's your knife right there. And, you know, you can't go wrong with a Microtech, but I feel like Heretic is doing better than they are nowadays. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully this is something you guys want to see more of. If you do like this, let me know down below. Let me know what other videos you guys are excited about. And hopefully I see you at Blade Show.